Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream. Of course, new week, new events, new everything. We ended up getting some new cactus people this week, 3 of them total, 2 of them today, one of them for glory, one of them in the event key drop table, the other one coming on Friday with Bounty Hunter. We have the new monster pet coming on Wednesday, the assassin class leveling on Thursday, still trying to get level 100 by then, not quite sure how far we'll get, but that is still the goal. And Bounty Hunter on Friday, which is a pretty good way to obtain orbs. Other than that, of course, for the rest of the week, we have Guild Wars, which starts up tomorrow. Make sure to set your defend teams. With that being said, I'm pretty sure I did even take my own advice, so let me go do that right now. So let me go switch all these to the correct teams. Luckily, I have them all named, so it doesn't take that long. That one's already correct. That one's already correct. Almost all these are already correct. Defend red and defend brown. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. I believe they are correct now. So, what is this? Defend blue, check. Defend green, check. Defend yellow, defend purple, defend red, and defend brown. And they're all unique, so we get the full amount of points. And they're all decent enough, so we'll keep them as is. I do need a hero class for this, though pretty sure we're just going to ignore it. Normally you would run Titan, but probably not going to bother switching since we need to get Assassin leveled. Maybe I'll switch my defend team. Could always replace it with a Kraken. Go down the Kraken route, I guess. That'll probably be what I do for tomorrow then. And that's about it. Everything else is in order. And maybe I'll switch it again for that to make sure it's correct. But other than that, it seems like our defense are good. Our Sentinel's already upgraded. And we did go down to bracket 3, surprisingly. I thought we stayed in bracket 2. Apparently not. Well, if nothing else, at least we'll have a pretty easy week this week. Normally, bracket 3 is quite a bit easier than bracket 2. So hopefully we'll win out every single one and go from there. Who are we even up against? Some of these guilds I probably will remember their name. Oh, is Black Pearl actually went all the way back here? I thought they used to be in like the top few. Celestial Peak I know, Hogan's I know. Actually, all of these I know. This actually used to be my partner guild for a little while. I forget what this one is, but I remember the other 5. Anyways, let's go and let's see. Anything else we need to go over? Oh yes, we have a new 2 new things that actually came up that I don't believe I mentioned yet. Well, one of them I kind of mentioned last stream, but one of them I know for sure I didn't. If any of you haven't ever used Gems of War database before, it did just get updated to have all the pet and weapon-related stuff. So it's kind of funny. I think Lila might have actually like heard me during stream, that or she was already planning it and just happened to work that way. But she actually updated her website with all the search options for weapons and stuff now, which currently don't exist in games. So that's really cool. So there's now a nice little tool in there that you can't actually do in game. There used to be quite a few before too, but then they kind of introduced some to the game through search options and stuff. But nope, now there's some on there once again that the game doesn't actually have. But yeah, that's gowdb.com. If any of you aren't aware of it, really nice tool for tracking a lot of stuff as well as just useful information. It's the most compiled database of the game. It's not exactly like a wiki or guide or anything. It's more so just like a bunch of information on all of the things, some of which can't actually be seen within the game itself. It also has a lot of sorting options and data, and it can even track your own account and stuff like that. Really cool website if you've never looked at it. Other than that, as the title says, we also got a shiny new redeem code page, which we'll be using in a little bit when I hand out a redeem code. Other than that, though, good majority of the stream will probably be spent getting Assassin up. As I mentioned, I am still trying to get level 100 Assassin by this Thursday, just so I could show it fully maxed out if I can. That is the goal. If we do that, we'll be questionable, but that is still the goal of mine. So we're still a ways away. We're like, what, level 77 right now? Need to be level 100 to actually have all of them, of course. Oh, so hello everyone. Hello Ziplam. Hello SKCD or SKDC. Hello Zeddicus. Hello Danny. Hello Steve. Hello Alvano. And hello Dragon Ball Z fan, and welcome everyone else. Is it okay to run your hero on your Guild War defend every day and still get the same amount of points? Yes. You can't use the same weapon, but you can use the same hero class, yes. So you do still retain the points. It has to specifically be a different weapon though. But if you use literally the same hero class every day, but a different weapon, it'll still count as unique, even though it's technically still the same hero class. It only goes by the weapon that it's using. Okay, let's go get a hit here. What do I need? Do we have a cascade for that? I don't believe we do, so we're just gonna take some mana. He's gonna get Infernus. You can actually still win if I'm not careful here. First battle and already losing now. We're fine. And down it goes. Oh yeah, we might fight against each other. You might fight me. I don't know if I'll fight you. How high in the guild are you right now? I believe I hit the top 8 in my guild. So that'd be about a 20% chance that I would fight you. Or that you would fight me, I mean. Let me see. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Guild War, attack, results. Yeah, I'm in the top, this little section. So there's a 20% chance you would fight me. And if you're in the same section, I'd have a 20% chance. If you're there, I have a 50% chance. If you're there, I have a 100% chance. And if you're anywhere lower, it's a pretty low chance that we'd actually see each other. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's go and firebomb or firebomb? They're both almost the exact same amount of gold too. Well, I'll go take this one, get more trophies. Hello, Donovan, welcome. Also, we have to kill a bunch of yellows in PvP or explore this week. I'll probably just be doing it naturally through PvP, most likely. From trying to level up this assassin class alone would most likely get us almost all the way there. If not all the way there. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, anything you want me to go over, let me know. There really isn't much to say about the cactus people. Like, I would be using them right now, but there really isn't much I need to. Like, they're relatively weak. Like, ridiculously weak. Pretty underwhelming. Oh, we already gained another level. Nice. I might use them some with Bard and such later on. Of course, the Bounty Hunter one will obviously have to use for Bounty Hunter. Though he's only kind of average. He's not really going to do too much. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There's one really good thing he will be able to do. He'll be good at removing barrier from the enemy. But that's it. So hopefully we'll have some kind of barrier mechanic in there so we can actually remove it and use them for something other than just having him there for the points. So we'll take that, Tread for the Brown, didn't get it, Throw in Furnace, hopefully kill it out with Skull here. That's not what I meant. Okay, well, we'll do it that way. That indeed kills it out. Good job, Assassin class. Hunter's Mark every single extra turn is so strong. You have to keep in mind, too, Hunter's Mark doesn't just raise the damage of skulls we take. Let me see, let's get that done. Oh, whoops! I made a mistake, should have thrown Furnace there. Oh well, it doesn't just do it for the skulls we take, it also does it for skulls exploded. So if we go and explode, let's say, 5 skulls, it'll do 10 damage if they're Hunter's Marked. Which is one really nice benefit about Hunter's Mark specifically. It's a mechanic that's not really used too much, but on things like Assassin Hero class, Archer, and stuff like that that actually do have it as a capability, it definitely starts stacking up over time. And you can make skulls explosions basically count as a natural damage source, particularly earlier on in the game. This late in the game, not so much, but still. So we'll go take that. Take a yellow. Also, if they have reduction and you don't have any kind of enrage or way to stun it, you would technically do more damage to them by exploding them when they're Hunter Marked as well. Like, let's say it's a Gorgolfa and has Hunter's Mark on it, and you only have like a 30 damage skull. You would get more just from basically exploding a bunch of the board than you would from even taking the skull. Okay, I do believe that's in kill range. It'll kill the middle too, if it'll actually click. So we'll go do that, get that down out of here, and see if we can get that last little bit of mana. Does not look like it though, so we'll just go for it. See what else we can kind of grab. Don't think we have the last little bit of mana we need for that. Really need to take it though. And none of it looks good. We'll just take that one. Takes the mana I need. Give it a little bit of yellow. Just us a bunch of mana, though he's probably going to hit with that. It's not really doing much, though. Did we just dodge all of that? Wow, 30%. Look at that 100% right there. The power of dodge. But yeah, this dodge is really strong. As I mentioned, it's technically the tankiest thing that you can ever have on your hero, other than maybe Dragon Guard, due to its 40%. While it's not as consistent, it can get really lucky like you just saw there. We just dodged every single skull we just did. I think it was like 4 skulls in a row. We just dodged and took 0 damage. Of course, that doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's really effective. It also blocks entire skull spam, so if they hit like 2 or 3 skulls simultaneously, it blocks all of them at once. Or none of them, if it doesn't trigger, but of course if it does trigger, it dodges all of them. Let's see. Anyone else with they'd hurry up and release more 50% mana starts? Yeah, I do wish there was more 50% mana starts. It's a really important mechanic to make types actually work. You generally wouldn't use 4 times of a type unless they have 50%. There's very few exceptions to it, like 4 times Dragon and stuff. But a good majority of the teams that do run 4 times currently of the exact same type do have a 50%. And in many other instances, it's not worth it without it. We'll go and take a... I guess we'll go for like a blue or a red or something. Let's go move that over. See if we can go take that, get that going, throw Infernus down, and be good to go. And 1 HP. He doesn't even die to the poison, but we'll go kill it with that. Even if he revived, it would have taken out the follow-up kill. Alright, we'll go for our revenge battle, get all of our gold. Even if it's a harder battle, it's still going to be worth it. So he's using the absolute most perfect team in the game. Hopefully next patch just won't be the only thing to use, because it is like very, very over the top right now. 4 times Divine in that format specifically. Alright, we'll go and double kill that. First 2 as well. Normally the hero doesn't get killed enough or hurt enough to actually make that work. I'll throw the Infernus down. A little bit weird that he's using the Ubistet in second. Normally you want to use the Infernus in front of it, just because if you don't, the AI will normally just rush the Ubistet, and when it rushes the Ubistet, there's a good chance you wouldn't have done enough damage yet for it to actually kill. Under player control, it is actually technically okay to put the Ubistet in front, depending on what you're up against. I normally still put it behind it though. It's nice to get that nice burst of mana. It can sometimes be a little bit slow if you don't, because if your Divine Protector misses, you're getting very little mana. If your Infernus is in second slot, it's basically a backup to make sure. Kind of like a fail-safe in case you can't get your weapon up. Especially with a hero class like this, where we don't even start with half mana. Because more often than not, if you're using this team, you are starting with half mana on Divine Protector. It's just a unique instance where we aren't, because we're just leveling up Assassin. We'll go get the double kill there. Let's Firebomb twice and be good to go. We'll take another one ourselves, grab that. And already down. How am I doing? Could you show the team with Sunna and Yasmin chosen, please? Sure, I believe it was... I have it saved somewhere, because I did want to save it for later. There it is, Sunna, Clawburn. Yeah, it's this one. It's Greenseer, Sunna, Glitterclaw, Yasmin's chosen. I completely forgot who suggested this a while back, but it is absolutely the best Sunna team I have seen so far. It's not one of the better teams in the game, but if you were to use a Sunna, like, this is pretty much what you'd be using if you had it. All these components. So you rush Greenseer immediately, like you would with any of these kind of teams, where you start with a mana generator like this. Go and get something converted that you don't need as much, like the Brown. Get all the way to full mana. Ideally, we'd have Glitterclaw here, and we actually do. So that Fairy fires literally his entire team, so that we can get big Sunnas down, or just do damage in general. So I can take a green to a red. Don't believe we really need it, though. I think the game plan here is just to cast and do a lot of damage. That will not be enough to kill, but we can go for split damage to try to clear that out. I can go for a skull here. I believe we just stick with mana, though. I kind of want I really want to get Greenseer back up, though. Really important that we do. There isn't a particularly good way to do so without giving him something. Oh, that doesn't. Oh, yes, it does. It gives him red still. Oops, okay, well, we'll go and try finding ourselves a purple or something. Hopefully, he'll give it to us here, and he does free off the yellow. Now we need to convert something that, again, that we don't really need. I guess technically purple. We do need purple to a slight degree, but it gives us so much mana back that's fine. And we'll do that. Actually, red, I forgot. We could just done on red, too. That would have not been horrible. I'll go move this over. Ideally, we'd have Yasmin up. A little bit unfortunate that we're not actually getting Yasmin up. It would be helpful to have her going, but we do not. Glitterclaw is still not aligned. Skull isn't really worth it. I guess we go for a double kill in the middle, and then he'll go do his thing again. Then we have a gigantic Sunna here just to kind of tank if it does kill out our first slot, which it probably will right here. Yeah, it does, because it gets the cleanse and all that. Ideally, we'll have Glitterclaw. We do. Get that down, goes right into Sunna, and then you get a nice Sunna cast. It pretty much uses the Glitterclaw and how you would normally use a Glitterclaw, in that you would, most Glitterclaw-oriented teams, basically what you're trying to do is you use it with at least one other green in order to feed that green in front of it all of its mana. And it looks like we could actually die here, because it keeps cleansing off my Entangles, which also reduces down our damage. I think the biggest issue here is we haven't gotten a single Yasmin to actually cast, and it looks like we're actually going to die. But as far as Sunna teams are concerned, this is the strongest Sunna team that I'm aware of. Though it's still below average, the power curve of the game. But if you were to use Sunna, this is pretty much the team. And we still won. Ever so barely. But we still won. Yeah, that's what the team is. Still really nice. I like the concept of it. It's just, compared to the meta right now, it's just not strong enough, personally. You have to keep ending your turn too many times to cast Sunna, which is the whole reason why I don't like using her. It doesn't get enough kills for how much time you waste with how much mana it requires, combined with the fact you end your turn automatically. Okay. Earlier on in the game, it's actually okay, though. Because it takes less casts, oddly enough. Because your things you're fighting have way lower stats. And Sunna gains a lot of extra benefit compared to early game. You're gaining 16 damage every single time. And of course, 16 true damage this late in the game is not much against like a divine team like this. But earlier on in the game, when you don't have to deal with divine teams and have much lower HP values and stuff to deal with, it works better. Okay, he's going to do Mercy here. I'm just going to let it happen. Throw it on Infernus and hopefully get a quick Infernus kill so we don't need to deal with that. He'll get a Mercy right on it. That's the only really bad thing about Mercy, too, when you're using things that have, like, targeting on weakest. She's the only thing in the entire game that currently hard counters that. Like, as far as troops that specifically target the weakest on the opposing team, all Mercy has to do is just heal it up with her ability, and then boom, it stays safe. Oops, I forgot the Brown, but let's throw Infernus in there. And that's basically it. We'll go for a little bit of hits, and that'll be that. We'll get Convert off. And take some blues there. Let's see if we can get another little poke down. Hopefully get the kill there secured. 5 HP. I guess we'll skull spam that. Overkill. Little overkill. And down it goes. Hello, Captain. Hello, Medieval. Welcome, welcome. Wish they... Oh, never mind, already. Read that. So, low level. So maybe fight you, hopefully. But when you fight you will have the easiest battle ever. I hope you will. Then you will laugh. Oh, okay. What on earth are you using? Normally you should set good defend teams whenever you're doing Guild War thingies. They need to be unique, but you still want to try keeping them good if you're at a slightly higher bracket. Hello, Plumpko. Welcome. Oh, we'll go take that over. And just get a nice little poker. Was that English? Yes, that was English. What, did I say it weirdly? I pronounce a lot of things weirdly. Yeah, we'll go for a double hit there. Get a nice little double. Get all that down. See if we can get some pokes. Go convert all of that and get the cleanse if we even need any. Not really. First goal. I think the other problem might be that I talk a little bit towards the faster side. So it may not even sound like anything. I've been trying to slow down. That's just how I naturally talk, though. Like, very, very quick pacing. Normally. One of the only ways to really make me read slower is if I'm actually reading something. Or to talk slower is if I'm actually reading something. I read very, very, very slow. So if I was reading something and talking, my voice would actually sound pretty normal. At least compared to what it would normally be. Okay, we'll go and take a red here. That's also one of the reasons why I sometimes can't keep up with chat that much or miss quite a few. I do read them like very, very slow. Okay, we'll throw Infernus down. Hello, JW. You got the Great Mall today. Could you suggest a great... Oh, yeah, that's from... I should have done that yesterday. I mean, today. It feels like yesterday because of when I recorded it. But, yeah, I haven't gone over Great Mall teams, have I? Yeah, Great Mall is really, really nice. You're running Great Mall, Bloodhammer, or just a Great Mall team? Thank you. Oh, sure, I can do a Great Mall Bloodhammer. There's actually a really, one that used to be, like, really, really good. More so with the Shegra, but you could do it with the Bloodhammer as well, I believe. I forget if I've ever actually tried doing it with it. I believe I did once, but then didn't care for it much. I forget exactly what happens. Let me do over suggested team slot, I guess. What am I using here? Oh, yeah, that's just my event thingy. I had it set to a bunch of red monsters because that was one of the tasks yesterday. Well, I'll go get rid of all that. Let's go get the Great Mall in here. Generally, whenever you use Great Mall, it's almost always first slot. The only exception to that would be if you're a newer player doing pet battles, in which case you'd probably put it in second slot instead. Also, if you have a Great Mall as a newer player, you pretty much automatically have every pet battle ever completed. It might take you a while to do it with a Great Mall. I'll probably actually be going over that strategy this Wednesday, since it is in the event key drop table. For the new pet, I'll probably do some kind of Great Mall team. A really cheap version of it, though, like with Apothecary, Cockatrice, and probably, not Dwarven Gate, the Draconian Monk. But as far as, like, an endgame kind of team, we'll put it with this, we'll put it with a Bloodhammer, and we'll put it with a, Infernus. And that should be good. That in there. I mean, Inferno King, not Infernus, my bad. I'm so used to doing Infernus for everything. But, and then we just go double yellow. I don't believe there's a different banner that would really help us much more than that. Actually, there is. That would actually be slightly better. -1 green for +2 yellow, +1 red. So we'll go with that, and that'll be our team. Great Maul, Mercy, Inferno King, King, Bloodhammer. Basically, what we'll do here is immediately, if we have it, throw Mercy into Great Maul. Great Maul then devours. Devour then gives us the mana we need. We then have a Skull Storm to go and utilize from there, and then we just win. So we do that, throw Mercy, boom, devour the biggest threat, boom, do that, get something to full mana. Ideally, that would have already occurred, but of course, sometimes it doesn't cascade into a nice way. So we'll just go and I guess take brown to red, blue, yellow, probably brown, red. Then we get a blue convert. We have it currently, but we might ruin it here. And we did, but I believe I still go for it just because of how much value we will still get out of it, despite it being a little weird. Actually, let's move that first to see if that helps us any. Not really, though we do have Inferno King now, so that might be able to do something. What does he convert again? Brown to red and green to skull, if I'm not mistaken. Though neither of those we have aligned properly, so let's go for this. Get a bunch of hits down. Obviously, we hit ridiculously high due to the fact that we're using a Great Maul here. Then we just use Inferno King. Then we just throw it back again. And you just keep repeating them back and forth until you win with ridiculously high skull damage off your Great Maul. And even if you had low stats, you would have whatever stats the enemy had. So you just take it from them, destroy them that way. And of course, like I mentioned, the cheaper version of this is Great Maul, Cockatrice, Apothecary, and Dragonian Monk, and that'd basically be what you would do for pet battles and some other instances like dungeons if you're a lower level player still struggling with dungeons. But yeah, Great Maul is really, really good for like low level of completion of those kind of events where you can use anything and you're not really restricted, because all you have to do is get one Devour down, and it has a 100% chance, so it's a lot, you don't have to deal with all the inconsistency. Oh, we ended up getting a Spooky Imp, cool. So we'll go grab that. I don't think I need more Spooky Imps, but we got one. And we are almost already done with this event. It's the first day, and we're already pretty much halfway done. Really easy one. All we have to do is kill a bunch of yellows in PvP. And with how many yellows there normally is, that's relatively easy to do. Let's go back to a normal team now. Yeah, that's basically what a Great Maul Mercy team looks like. I mean, a Great Maul Bloodhammer team looks like, as you suggested. Oh yeah, you could do it with Inferno King too if you want. Oh wait, never mind. That was with Inferno King. I thought you said Infernus. I keep switching them. I was like, hello, Neverter, welcome. You just heard random words that made 0 sense. Did I? Maybe I just went on a incoherent rant, maybe. Oh, didn't see that you were trying to read a comment. Oh, okay. That's why. Yeah, sometimes I just randomly, like, start reading comments. Did you see, like this, did you see the dark version of the Divine Team meta? Dark version of the Divine Team meta, not sure what you mean. You mean the purple version of it? I have not seen the purple version of it. Hero with Bone Shield, Feral Hound, Farish Ra, and Ishbala. So basically the soul farming version of it. Would that be quick enough? You're basically running Farish, you're basically running a Farish Ra with no soul gain other than your hero if it was accumulating it. So that would be a little slow, is the only problem. And I think it would be slow enough to the point where you wouldn't really use it, where you would just independently farm soul separately. That's the only really big issue with putting Farish Ra in many PvP teams. While you do get souls, you have to factor in if it's actually worth it because of how much slower you'll win with him. It's not that he wins very slow, it's just that he only ever has single target, and single target just generally is not as quick as things that can hit multiple things at once, even if it can one-shot, which he definitely can. And that's a match. Hello, Yannick. Hello, Ellen. Yeah, no problem, JW. You got Ubistet today. Congratulations. Very lucky. Is there any team you can use him that does not use the Infurnish Ishbala Divine Protector start or strategy? You could try Apothecary spamming him with like a frontline tank, especially if you have Gorgolfa or something. Go like, or actually you don't really need to go Gorgolfa. I guess you could kind of do the Ragnagard version of it, or even Azura if you really wanted to. But yeah, basically just rush either Azura or Apothecary into him with 2 other supporting troops. And your team would be something along the lines of something in first slot, Ubistet, either Apothecary or Azura, and then 1 other damage in last slot. And that'd be the structure of your team. What you specifically use would depend on what you have, though. But yeah, Ubestedt 2nd slot, and then for 3rd is either Apothecary or Azura, or even Captain Skullbeard if you want to go down that route or something. Any of those kind of like standard exploding kind of troops, or Apothecary just to feed it. And then just put a frontline tank, and then a backline damage. And one of those could be your hero, like the 1st slot if you want to use that as your tank. We'll go move that over. What is on Earth is his team? He's using Bard. I'll go move that over. Go and give him a nice little poke. Do you think about your brown team? Gorgolfa, or what do I think about it? Gorgolfa, Ubestedt, Emperor Corvash, and Salvani Mora. Sounds good, though generally I put my Corvash right behind my Gorgolfa. The reason for this is to have the mana drain. I actually like putting Famine there too for the mana drain purpose, but of course Corvash is perfectly fine as well. But yeah, personally I would say move the Corvash up by 1. Ubestedt's nice to have for a quick cast, but more often than not you would rather have the drain just in case they're using something dangerous like a Scion 1st slot or something else that might be able to kill you out too quickly or be a really big annoyance to the structure of the team. But yeah, I normally like putting Corvash a little bit further up just in case, just to have it for a quick drain. Or Famine, of course. But Corvash would be the next best bet. But yeah, I believe every brown day these days I run it 2nd slot, the Famine specifically. But both of them are basically the same thing. The reason I specifically run Famine more often than not is because of it can drain any of them, and you don't have to deal with 3rd or 4th slot. And yeah, oh no, I'm actually running the Corvash version. Actually, I'm running the team you just said, except I'm running Diviner instead of Salvani Mora, because we already have enough skull reduction. Though Salvani Mora, if you really need the skull reduction against skull spam, especially since Assassin classes this week, you might want to consider what you're already doing. But yeah, I'm running it with Diviner. Actually, with that being said, I should probably put the Ubestedt up a little bit further since it is a lot of Assassins this week due to the event. What day is Brown Day specifically? It's probably on Assassin Day, and I really should move it up just in case, because we do not want him instantly getting killed. Normally that's not a threat because most people wouldn't be running Kraken or Assassin, but this week that probably is relevant, so we might need to go put it up and just put Diviner in last. But yeah, this is what I currently use. Gorgolfa, Corvash, Diviner, Ubestedt. Basically, rush up Diviner slash Gorgolfa slash Corvash. Get a disable off on Corvash. Gorgolfa feeds everything. Diviner feeds Gorgolfa to feed everything, as well as Ubestedt. Then you just keep spamming Ubestedt. Corvash is the disable. Gorgolfa gets you all the mana. With some Diviner coming in. This also reduces all your skull damage, so you lose less points. And you have this for magic buff, as well as enchant, as well as cleanse. And yeah, it has a little bit of everything. It also has immune to mana drain on this, so even if they happen to famine you or something, you still have at least a backup plan of getting that going. And of course, Ubestedt has a good majority of your damage, doing almost entirely all your damage. And you get a Red Storm once you finally get a kill, which makes it so Gorgolfa gets higher, or a better chance of extra turns. And it even has a chance to resummon itself if it dies. Or not itself, but, you know, 25% chance to make Ancient Horror. It doesn't actually have a summoner, but ideally if Gorgolfa does die, it triggers it. And yeah, has pretty much everything you need. Yeah, the team you mentioned is also fine. Really just depends which way you want to go about it. No hero instead of, with Mountain Crusher instead of Gorgolfa. Yes and no. Yes, that would be an option. The main reason I avoid using hero in most of my Guild War days is just so we don't have to constantly keep changing them out. I hate having to keep constantly changing my hero every single day, especially if on that given day we're going to need multiple. I probably will once they finally add a way to remove the 50 gem thing or to automatically have them set per team. But at the moment, I've been pretty minimally using my hero class for Guild War days. But yes, you can definitely use the Mountain Crusher version of a hero. Not sure which one would be best in the context of that team. Probably one of the tankier ones like Dragon Guard or something. You want to be minimalizing your, even though the team doesn't actually use dragons, you want to be minimalizing the amount of skull damage you take. Other than that, I guess you'd run one of the 30% dodge classes. Ideally one that starts with half mana, which would basically be only Archer then, would be what you would use for that location. And it would still have instant kill chances too, which is cool. Actually, technically Archer has a higher chance of doing it. It's just not as effective because it only does it on first slot, which is also the troop you're doing damage on. Assassins is much better overall. Even though it's only 10%, the thing that it's hitting is better. Also, Assassinate cannot be reflected with Skull Reflect, whereas there's still a weird mechanic where if you instant kill with Archer's ability, and the troop has any amount of Skull Reflect, regardless of how high that is, it will automatically kill your archer. Whereas if Assassin kills the last slot and it has some kind of Skull Reflect, it will not die, because it's not actually counting as damage. Whereas with Archer, it does count as damage, like specifically skull damage. Assassins just count as a instant kill. Okay, we'll go for the Infernus there. We get another one down. Fight a 4x Fire Biome team, triggers your Blood Hammer, Doomstorm, and you lost in one turn. Oh, I have seen that before. I don't know if I've actually ever lost to it, but I've come very, very close to dying to a Firebomb due to using Doomstorm. Of course, not as of recently, because you haven't really had much of a need to actually use it. But back when it was really popular, the previous version, I've had that happen several times now. We're almost lost to a single Firebomb, just because it triggered onto Bloodhammer's thing. Okay, we're gonna go and Skull Distract him here. I think we could still win. It depends if he decides to Ubistet. Is he smart enough to know Ubistet's the right choice? Yes, he is. Rip. No! Oh well, not that big a deal. That was bound to happen. Oh, a lot of people are running eggs this week. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because they can form baby dragons, which are annoying. There's definitely weaker yellows they could have done. They could have done Elspeth, and that could create even more yellows. I believe if you're trying to set up a team to help everyone else out, 4x Elspeth would be the best way to go about it this week. If I'm not mistaken, her casting on herself does count as a kill for an event gem. Not only that, but she can then transform that into another yellow, which would also count as a kill for the event gem once it actually dies. We'll get a nice little skull poke in there. Almost dies. If I had Ubistet, I'd throw it. Oh, we got Assassin down. Very nice. And there we go. So let's go hand out the redeem code. I was going to do it for some specific thing. I guess technically if we got a gnome or something. Well, let's go give it out now. Might as well. So, as I mentioned, we do have a shiny new redeem code page. Some of you may have seen it the other day, but haven't actually handed out the new code, or a code, since they made the nice new page. Let's see, do we have anything relevant to this thing? Oh, here we go. We got a celebrate code. We got to celebrate. So we'll go copy this over, copy, save, and let me go bring this over to the redeem code page. It's throwing me off because I'm not used to how it looks. We'll go click on this. Go and put in invite code, put in the celebrate, make sure I click back, redeem code, successfully redeemed code, sweet. Wait, it says something else too. Successfully redeemed code, check your Gems of War in-game mail to collect the rewards, say hello on our forums. Oh, now it brings you to the forums as well if you want to go do that. Yeah, I guess they're trying to get more people to the forums as well. Forum has always been pretty busy on this game, but I guess they're trying to make it even busier. I guess they're doing this to the redeem page too, just to kind of make it look nicer because of how much traffic the redeem page normally gets. Hopefully this also makes it so the redeem page works correctly. In the past, redeem page has crashed many times due to too many people, like hundreds of people going there at once. So hopefully they fix that now. Not sure if they did. I would assume they would have when they did this, or at least made the page use less usage or something that made it better. But yeah, let me go get that into chat one moment. And it does indeed work. And there you guys go. Let's see, you know the defend team video? You use the blue beginner defend team here, and half of it are level 1 troops. Please fight you. Wait, really? Why on earth are you using that? Hello, Humberto. You have 4 losses on PvP, 4 times against Ubistet. Getting a little bit annoying, doesn't it? Well, it depends really heavily on what team you use. I do have to say, yes, he is very strong if you're not countering him. But I think it really just comes down to the whole counter concept of this game. There are several things in this game where they're just ridiculously overpowered if you don't counter them. Like Famine, Scion, stuff like that. But if you counter them, they're 100% useless. Same as like Queen Mab. Or at least Queen Mab back when she was in her prime. She's a little bit weaker these days. But like when she was in her prime, if you weren't using Mana Shield against her, or an anti-freeze, or just anything to kill her out quickly, you'd have a problem. But I feel like that's kind of the state that Ubistet's in right now, where you're kind of forced to use barrier against it, and if you don't, you probably are going to die occasionally. It's just something that's going to happen. Yeah, they could tone him down slightly. I guess the only thing they could really do to tone him down, though, would be to lower his damage. Lowering his mana too high, anything beyond what it already is, could make him completely useless. And they basically just need to make him more like the damage of Wolf Garrick, I feel like. He actually hits way higher than Wolf Garrick already. Not to mention he gains more and more magic. I feel like they could turn it down like maybe 5 to 10 damage, maybe. But as far as the actual mechanic that he has, I am perfectly fine with what he does. It's just a little bit too easy to actually land it. Might be the biggest issue. Oh yes, it only works on PC, mobile, Amazon version, and basically everything except console versions is what redeem codes work for. Unfortunately, it does not work on PS4, nor does it work on Xbox One. Oh, sorry, did I not even go over everything for it? Well, it kind of self-explanatory, says it on the new page now that they made. But the invite code can be found underneath your settings, underneath this menu right here, right where it says invite code. Whatever your game says there is what you put in. And the redeem code is in chat right there, as well as the link. And you just go to gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section, or simply click that link that I just posted into chat. Either or would bring you to the same location. Okay, do we have alignment? Yes, we do. Grab all that. And what else do we need here? I'll take Skull down. Get a nice Obus stats, and that's match. Yeah, no problem, everyone. No problem at all. If you guys still have any other questions or anything, let me know. Oh, what's the reward? It's nothing too big. It's just, I'll go into the mail right now. Let me see if the game will load. It's 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold is what each code is. And we hand out about 6 of them a week or so. Yeah, 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. And let's see what we get from the 1 gem key. Wow, we have such a reserve of gem keys right now. Feels weird. I don't think I've ever had this many gem keys. And we get an Incubus, which actually isn't too good, unfortunately. Really hoping we still get those ingots and stuff from it. That's one of the only few things I really need from that drop table, unless there's specifically new content out, which of course there isn't at the moment. Event Keys has new content in it this week, but not Gem Keys. Gem Keys probably not getting anything new, or at least really relevant new, until next Mythic or next Kingdom. Probably next Mythic, I believe, will be coming before next Kingdom, which I believe is early next month, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we'll go take a skull here. He'll skull us back. Go from there. Kind of just exchange the hits. And firebomb to firebomb. Kind of keep distracting him so he doesn't do anything. And never mind. He still managed to do something. Fine, we'll throw Infernus at you then. And that still didn't even kill. And let's go for that. Oh no, is the code having issues? They made a nice shiny new page, so I would hope it would be working. I haven't seen any issues with the page yet since they revamped it. But of course, it's only been a few days now, and that's actually the first code we've ever done specifically on it. So if you do notice any glitches with it, just let us know, or let me know, or let them know specifically, actually, probably. Like, report it on the forum, because they probably want to know. Team for Great Maw. Great Maw. Best Great Maw team is Great Maw, Mercy, Inferno King, and either Shegra or Bloodhammer in last slot is the team you would use for it. It's not really too viable to put your hero on it in most situations, is the only really big issue with the team. But that's pretty much what you would run. It's really good for pet battles as well. If you're a newer player, something cheap you can put it into is Great Maw, Cockatrice, Apothecary, and a Dragonian Monk in last slot. And it has everything you would need to win out dungeons if you're still struggling with it, as well as all pet battles if you're still struggling with it. So, really nice thing to pick up. I'll be going over that a little bit more this Wednesday with the new pet that's coming out. Just kind of showing what it can actually do, the Great Maw that is. I might even do it on my lower level account too. It depends how many event keys I have on it. I forgot to go claim last week's stuff, but we'll try getting it on it. I'll probably do it off stream to try to roll it. And hopefully we'll get a Great Maw so I can kind of just show what it looks like on a newer level account. Because obviously if I do it on this account, I could probably solo it with just the Great Maw. We wouldn't even need anything else because of how high its stats are. But yeah, we'll be covering it quite a bit more this Wednesday, like going over some of the things it's really used for. Because the pet battle this Wednesday is one of the main things. Also, it counts as a monster too, which is kind of funny. I wonder if you can actually make it work with Glaceon. I guess you could. You could go like, oh, that'd be interesting. Great Maw, Glaceon, Apothecary, and Bloodhammer. Oh, that's not triple monster though. Oh, I thought it was. Never mind. It's not actually, never mind. I thought that was triple monster. I was gonna do that as like one of the monster teams. It's not though. Fail. Close enough. It doesn't actually utilize the bonus though. Almost does. Alright, we'll go throw that down. Yeah, Glaceon does count as a monster, by the way. They did change it. I think it was a Daemon something before, but then they changed it to a Daemon monster so that the other troop can counter it. But, yeah, so it would work for monster bonus. It's actually one of the best monsters in the game since they changed it. Even though I haven't been using it much, Glaceon is still ridiculously strong. There just hasn't been much of use for it, just because I haven't been using as many skull spam teams. And the skull spam teams I have been using, I've been using more so towards Ishbala into Forest Guardian for the loop, rather than Doom Skull. Because when it comes to Assassin, it's actually better to get a lot more smaller skulls than it would be to get Doom Skulls. While Doom Skulls are nice, you're mainly needing a lot of skull matches, and normal skulls can do more skull matches than Doom Skulls, just because they have a slightly lower mana cost, and most of them are a little bit more controlled. The only two Doom Skull, or really good Doom Skull related ones that currently exist in the game, there's like no really good convert for it. You just have, you can only convert out one. You only have blue to Doom Skull convert, and you have red to Doom Skull convert off of Glaceon. And that's it. You don't have any other options to really do it with that are particularly good. Whereas with skulls, you can convert out literally any color with something like Keeper of Souls, or even spawn them with an extra turn with Skeleton, and there's just a lot more options to get a lot of smaller pokes. Are there any good teams with King Salinas and Gloomleaf? Gloomleaf, no. King Salinas, yes. King Salinas is going to be pretty good in probably next week. They are having a Pan's Veil event next week, and while it has not been confirmed, there is a possibility that they will be reworking Pan's Veil, specifically Wild Folk, during, or Pan's Veil Wild Folk troops, specifically, next week. They haven't confirmed this, but they did mention that they are planning on revamping Pan's Veil, and well, next week's event is Pan's Veil, so it's a pretty good chance, hey, an Arcane Trait Stone, there's a pretty good chance that they will do it. As far as what specifically they'll be doing to change things up, I'm not sure. Basically what they said is they're planning on making everything in Pan's Veil basically be stat reduction or stat stealing, and kind of have it like that. So we'll see exactly what they'll revamp. But since King Salinas is part of that, as well as your hero class being Bard, there's going to be a pretty good team, most likely, using pure Pan's Veil as a Bard hero class starting next week. So yeah, starting this weekend after we finish Assassin, I'll be getting Bard up at least to level 70, ideally to 100, though I'm pretty sure I won't get it up that quick. But yeah, there should be some really nice teams with it. Maybe not like the absolute meta, but it will definitely be very, very decent. Let me see, where on earth is Pan's Veil? It's in alphabetical order and I can't even find it. But yeah, most of these troops are they're planning on some kind of buff for them to make them kind of more like how Wild Queen is, where it steals a stat and then does something and kind of just goes from there. And how like Savasi is, where it steals a stat and does the same thing, so on and so forth. The main ones they are likely to rebalance, or I would assume, are Silent One, the Satyr, the Nymph. Oh, Nymph kind of already does it. Maybe it'll steal the armor though. Nax really needs one. Faunessa, out of all the empowereds, is one of the lesser used empowered, so maybe they'll do something with that. Maybe like steal life instead of just gain life would be pretty cool. Elowin has been pretty outdated for a while. Bunny Nog is only ever good against knights, but yeah, a lot of this stuff in this kingdom is pretty bad. The only thing you ever use is King Salinas in cases of Wild Folk, as well as Impervious, as well as Burn. The Nyx in a Forest Troll Nyx team, and Siren in a Goblin team, oddly enough. And that's basically all that gets used in this kingdom. The only other few instances where you see stuff is occasionally Satyr Magician as a Silence team, a Silent One when you're running it as the only Silence on your team, and the Wild Queen for some really weird skull spam teams occasionally, and that's about it. And she sometimes fits the colors better for some teams. Normally Queen Isabel is better. I mean, not Queen Isabel. Yasmin's Chosen is normally better than Wild Queen, unless you're specifically using her in a Elemental or a Wild Folk team. Normally a Wild Folk team is the only time you really bring her out. But yeah, most of this kingdom is Wild Folk. If we go under it, these are the main ones that they're planning on actually reworking. All of these, for the most part. They want to make all of them thematic with stat stealing. So currently only 2 of these actually stat steal. It is Wild Queen, which is steals attack, and Savasi, which also steals attack. So yeah, good possibility this will steal HP. Maybe this will steal armor. Maybe this will do something. Nax might have a better buff, hopefully, because it's pretty bad at the moment. Satyr, they're definitely changing because it's just a weaker version of Goblin. Not sure what they would change it to. Satyr Magician's already pretty good, but maybe they'll make it some kind of stat steal as well. But yeah, we'll see exactly what they do. But these 8 in particular are likely to be rebalanced in some way, as well as just the entirety of Pan's Veil. We'll find out, hopefully, next week if they are doing that, and what it is if they are doing it. Also, what new troops are we getting next week? I don't think I even checked. 1 second. Because it is a Pan's Veil week. Let's see. Also means it's going to be raids, and we're going to be using Pan's Veil, so that'd be kind of cool if they rebalance it then. So the 2 new ones that are going to be coming in, just as a kind of reference point. Well, one is going to be the one for raids, of course. It deals magic +4 damage to an enemy, and if they are a boss 3 times to 5 times, we know that, based on Ascension. It then steals 4 attack and converts it to magic, which is pretty cool. So it actually keeps gaining more magic. If I'm not mistaken, that is the first raid troop to naturally have its own magic increased, which definitely is pretty useful for its stats to be able to actually kill the boss. Other than that, the other one deals magic +2 true damage to an enemy, then steals 3 armor and converts it to magic. So it looks like it has a lot of these little mechanics where it takes a stat, converts it to something else, and then uses it. So maybe a couple of the other ones will get that. So we'll have to see. Like Siren taking something from the enemy, using it to benefit itself, and stuff like that. We'll have to see how exactly it works. Hopefully they don't nerf Siren. There's a possibility they revamp it in a way that does actually nerf it, which I could definitely see. But most of them should be getting buffed in a way when they do go for that. But yeah, it seems like that's kind of the route they're going with. Just steal all the stats using Wild Folk troops. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Still not confirmed that that's occurring next week, but we do know that it is definitely Pan's Veil, and that they said they're rebalancing Pan's Veil. So we can kind of assume both will happen at once, but I don't think they ever at any point confirmed it yet. Oh, sorry, Victor, what was your question? Let's see, do you have a question? You have this week team to get some gold while an Explorer. If you have a better deck besides having the King Elf, let me know. Sunbird, Alchemist, Sunita, and Hero. Nope, that is about as good as you're really going to get it. Has everything you need. Just trying to look it over. Wait, what was I using earlier that was speeding it up? Oh yeah, I was using Rowan in second slot, just so it would go a little bit quicker. But Alchemist does earn you slightly more gold, and you can use it for a convert. Wait, what are you using Alchemist as yellow for, though, specifically? You don't really need it there. It'd probably be quicker overall just putting a Rowan there or something. You don't necessarily need the extra gold that you're getting from him. Well, I guess it would help some, but you'd win so much quicker just by having a damage source there, especially if you have slightly lower stats than you would just from having an Alchemist, even if it does give you a little bit of gold, because you're winning so much gold per battle. Even without it, you're winning like 900 per battle, and Alchemist is only going to bump that up about 100 or so every cast it does. Because the battles only take like 20-30 seconds. So you have to factor that in when you're using something like that. Because the Alchemist, even though it does gain a lot of gold, might not actually be getting you a quicker rate. Even though it may seem like it is. It's just, you need to take so much time sometimes to actually use it that it wouldn't be worth it. Raid phrase? We don't have to raid her with a phrase every single time. Go mention to her that you like the new redeem code page and tell her to give you a redeem code too, so we could go see the new redeem code page. That's what you could raid her with. Because she hasn't actually shown it yet. So you could probably convince her to immediately give a code if you make mention of it. Yes, we do. No, we don't. She normally ignores it most of the time, too. Or not enough people do it that it's not really worth doing. Unless there's like a really, really good phrase that we should do. I don't think we should do it every single time. Unless that phrase was really relevant. Okay, we'll go and take the purple over. Go throw down, I guess, Infernus. Get a little more damage on it, throw Ubstet. And that's pretty much matched. Just throw that into anything. And hit it 1,000 times over. And down it goes. Wasn't it Sunbird, Stanita, Firebomb? Oh, yes, that's what it was missing. Oh! Ooh, piece of candy. Legendary ingot. We still have yet to get a mythic. But there's another legendary. How many were we even up to? Yes, it was Firebomb. This is what I normally use for... I thought there was something really big missing. My bad. I didn't realize that it wasn't Firebomb. But yeah, the best thing to do this week, to do both at once. Go to White Helm. This has the most amount of yellows in it, so you get a bunch of the things. I think I showed this. I showed it a little bit later in the video. I don't know why I didn't show it immediately. I kind of did, but then forgot to do it, and then did it at the end. But, yeah, Sunbird, Firebomb, the Stanita, actually the Stanita in front of it, but Sunbird, Stanita, so you get 400 gold. Firebomb, because mana, and any hero with any weapon. And we're actually gaining some extra souls too because we're using this current one. We can do it for gold as well if we switch it to gold. But you just do that, throw that. If you're a newer player, you'd probably throw Stanita first and then throw Sunbird, just so that you actually get the kill. Basically, you'd want a one-shot with Stanita on their last lot. Or basically, this is how you would play it if you had lower stats. Because normally you wouldn't be able to kill with one Firebird. I can, just because we have higher stats. But normally what you would do if you were earlier on in the game, you'd get Stanita up now. You would then go for the poke, kill that out. And now you should be at a point where even if you had lower stats, your Sunbird would still kill. And then you just clear them out with Sunbird. That's pretty much what you would do. And whatever hero weapon you wanted to use, like a small yellow or something, you could just use that there. And yeah, it gives a lot of gold. You're getting 400 extra per thing. And you're also getting the event objective done since you have to kill yellows. So you'd be able to get a lot of yellow kills this way. You're also getting hero HP, of course, at a decently quick rate. You can just throw Sunbird and just keep repeating that. That's pretty much what you would do for that. As you can see, we're gaining 951 gold, a little bit of souls, some event gems, some EXP for our hero class, and trait stones. Though because it doesn't have any ingots in it, back to PvP. Okay, let's go to the easier battle. Oh, no, wait, no. Whoops. Do not use this in PvP, by the way. Whoops. Well, this is a weaker battle. I think we can actually defeat it, but I obviously did not mean to do that. Let's go for the kill. So we'll do that. Like I said earlier, you do that to kill out the last slot, so that the damage distribution. I cannot say that word right now. Wow. But so that the damage distributes properly, so you can actually get the kill, and then just kill it out. And there we go. I don't know why that just tongue twisted me so much right there. But there we go. And that is a bad example of that. Do not use that in PvP. Never ever use Explore teams on PvP. PvP teams work in Explore, but Explore teams do not work in PvP. Generally, the whole point of an Explore team is to win as quickly as humanly possible. But many of these teams that win as quick as humanly possible cannot take out things that have really high stats. So yeah, be careful not to accidentally use them in PvP, because you will probably immediately lose most of the times with them. Okay, we'll go take the little poke there. Let's see. Oh, what was your question, Siplom? Did Salty write to you something because of the code that doesn't exist? No, she didn't make any mention of it. I have seen that happen before, where some older codes would just start not existing. I'm not quite sure what or causes that to happen, but it does on occasion. I'm not fully certain. Hello, Alan. So welcome. Glad you could join us. Distributing is what I was trying to say. Came out really, really weird though. Kept getting tongue-tied on it. Wow, I just can't pronounce words there. Though, can I ever pronounce words? That's just my thing, not being able to pronounce words. There we go. Now we'll go into this Firebomb team. And we'll be going a little bit longer tonight, probably till about 9:15, so about 15 more minutes, just because we're going to be going up almost the Salty stream. She should hopefully give us map info as well. She didn't last week, but hopefully she will this week. And if she does, I'll be going over that tomorrow in as much detail as we know. We currently don't really know much detail, but we might in about an hour from now. Alright, we'll take that down and just kill it with anything. Wait, why didn't I just kill it with Ubistep? We already won. And there we go. You got your first mythic ingot from PvP battle. Congratulations. Very, very nice. I still haven't seen mine. It's about a 1 in 3,000 chance, approximately. Somewhere around there. Forget the exact number. It's somewhere around there, though. And I still have yet to see it. I don't even know if we've done 3,000 PvP battles since then. Probably pretty close, though I don't know for sure. But, yeah, I'm still hunting down that elusive mythic ingot. We'll get it eventually. I have no clue how we're eventually going to max out every weapon in the game, like mythic-wise. Like epics I can see, like epic and below. But legends are going to take forever. And mythics are going to take, like, years in the current format. Though there is a new minigame coming next patch that might be helping with ingot farming. So with that being said, depending on how they structure it, that might be the new method for obtaining mythic ingots. Because at the moment, the only way you really gain mythic ingots is PvP leaderboard. Specifically, not like the PvP leaderboard, but like 1.9k rating is about the only way you really get mythic ingots. Every other method is just way, way too hard. Like doing normal PvP. It would take about, let me see. Let me do the math on this. How long would it take you to play PvP for one mythic ingot? Let's put in the thing. Let's assume it's about 3,300 if I'm not mistaken. And let's assume you can win, oops, I keep putting the wrong number in. 3300. And let's assume you can win, how about 60 battles of PvP per hour. So we'll divide that by 60. So it takes about 50 to 60 hours of PvP to get one mythic ingot. But why didn't we get one yet? I think we played that much since then, haven't we? I guess we just got a little bit below the drop rate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've done that much since the most recent patch. We've been doing way over like 10 hours per week on it. Oh, we'll go for another hit here. And just throwing Furnace at it. Yeah, Apothecary is really good. I don't use it too often just because Mercy in most situations is better than... like, if you are trying to feed something that has brown and yellow, and you have Mercy fully traded, you'd always go Mercy instead of Apothecary in almost every instance. But Apothecary, really, really, really nice if you're just specifically using it for browns, or if you're a newer player. It's possibly the best low-level cleanse in the entire game for newer players as well. But other than that, it's just really good brown mana generation. And it's essentially the Apothecary is the Mercy of early game. Because normally you don't pick up Mercy fully traded until later, for a couple of reasons. One is all the useful things to actually use Mercy with are pretty much legends and mythics. So you wouldn't really ever use it much earlier on in the game since you wouldn't have many legends or mythics, particularly the really good mythics that it works with, like Infernus and stuff. And other than that, just there's just a lot of stuff that need brown instead of yellow. That's like some of them do have overlap, like Ubistet, where it does use both, and Gorgolfa is a pretty good example of that too. But still, anything that specifically only needs that brown and not the yellow aspect of it, Apothecary is still really good for that. Also, if you're using a high forge in your team, you always use Apothecary in that case because you start it with half mana. It's also the most useful instance of where you use a half mana start on a troop that has a convert. Out of every single possible instance in the game, that's the most useful of all of them, specifically in regard to convert troops. Okay, do we have alignment here? I don't believe we... Yes, we do. Okay. All I need to do is just say that every time that we don't have alignment, and I'll immediately find alignment. I just need to start saying it, and then it'll appear out of magic. So we'll go and go for the double kill here. Get that down. Get a nice Furnace there. Oh, I should have taken those reds first. Not going to matter much, though. And can we get skulls? Yes, we'll take that down. Just need one more nice little hit, and dead. There we go. You have 8 mythic ingots? Very nice. I think I'm at 7, if I'm not mistaken. We're getting another 3 for free later this month, which is kind of cool. I'm almost doubling my amount of mythic ingots, I believe, this month, because we got 2 the other time. And hey, we just got exactly 180 for that. Nice, 75 gems. But that's not what I'm looking for. If we click on calendar, yeah, we got 2 days ago. Or soon, if you haven't been logging in every day. But then we get another 3 on the 25th of this month. So that's kind of right around the corner. And even 5 legendary ones isn't too bad, but mythic ones are way, 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 way harder to get. That's basically like 30 legendary ingots right there for those. Yeah, pretty nice rewards actually this week. Like this, all right, that one, this, and the orb were all really good. And gem keys aren't too bad. That saves us like 9 gems every time. Yeah, that's about it. And this doesn't ever change. Most of these rewards aren't really that good, though. The only one here that's good is, of course, the 10 gems. Anyways, those dreaded 2 treasure maps, those are so horrible. At least this late in the game. 4 glory keys isn't too bad, though. Anyways, yeah, that's that. Let's go check our current number of them. I believe we're at 7, as I mentioned. Let's go find any mythic weapon. Doesn't matter which one it is. Sure, Creeping Death. Which a Creeping Death, I believe, is okay fully maxed. Oh, no, never mind. I have 9 mythic ingots. 2 of them were from the free ones we got this week, with another 3 coming soon. So by the end of this week, we should have 12 then, is how many we'll end up having. And that is enough to get to... Wow, that's not even enough to get every stat. You would need 15 of them to get every single stat. And then to be able to get actual effects on the weapon, you would need to have at minimum 21 of them. And we're not even halfway there. We will be by the end of this week, we'll be halfway there. But only halfway there. And we'll still have a ways to go after that. And keep in mind, that's not even halfway to finishing the weapon. That's just halfway to specifically having the first 5 of the perks. So, yeah, technically actual halfway is what, 27? Yeah, 27.5. So basically 28. You would need 28 mythic ingots to half upgrade a single mythic weapon. Which, yeah, we're a while from that, that's for sure. It's why I'm not putting it into Dawnbringer as well. Dawnbringer is the best thing to put it in as far as everything that currently exists in the game. But by the time we realistically have enough mythic ingots to max out a mythic weapon, there probably will be a better mythic weapon than Dawnbringer in the game. Or at least better perk-wise. Because of course Dawnbringer is always going to be really good. That's never not going to be the case. But the perks it has are really bad. And almost any new mythic weapon they will add will have better perks specifically than Dawnbringer. Yeah, I might still put it into Dawnbringer. We'll just have to see what the next 1 or 2 mythic weapons are that get added. Specifically the triple color mythic weapons. They might be adding one finally again next patch. Of course, we haven't had a single one since Dawnbringer. Newer player, should you use gems on gem chests or keep stacking diamonds? Those are 2 different resources, so I don't know specifically what you mean by that. But as far as spending your gems, yes. The main thing you should be doing it on as a newer player is if you're not planning on getting Death Knight armor, you should spend 500 gems to get Dragon armor. But basically, the way you spend gems. So, let's assume you had 0 gems you just started. First thing you're going to want to do with your gems is go under Hero. Once you finally have some, buy one of the really cheap 50 gem armors. Most likely Assassin armor for souls or Dwarven armor for gold. This will cost 50 gems, and just go get one of those. Then, once you finally have stockpiled enough, assuming you're not getting Death Knight armor, you would go and get Dragon armor, so that you can go farm a lot of gold, and then start getting all the kingdoms to level 10, and start upgrading them. Get them all initially to like level 3 or 4, and then start getting them to level 10, and just use that. While you're doing that, you're also going to want to eventually go get a Celestial armor. This also costs 500 gems, which will be a total of 1,000 between the 2. But assuming you're not getting Death Knight, these are the 2 highest bonus armors. And you would use the gold armor for things like PvP, and you'd use the soul armor mainly for whenever you're doing arena, as well as just farming souls. But more often than not, you'd mainly just need the dragon armor. But when you do get around to soul farming, you're going to want to have the other one. But other than that, main rest of your gems basically go to, yes, 50 bulks of gem keys. The reason you buy them in bulks of 50 is they're actually cheaper when you buy them in 50. Not by much, but normally they would cost 10 gems each. But they cost 450 for 50 when you buy them in 50s. So it would only cost you 9 gems each instead of 10. It's not that big a difference, but hey, you save 50 gems. That could start adding up if you do that multiple times. When you actually have the keys themselves, it doesn't matter how many you use. So whenever you see me using like 1 at a time, it doesn't actually matter. Because when you have a like stack, it's not going to give you any kind of discount. But if you're buying them specifically with gems, you should always be doing them 50 at a time if you can. Might make it so you have to be a little bit patient. But it would save you the most amount of resources doing it that way. But yeah, as a newer player, you pretty much only really throw them on gem keys. They're really good value right now, as they are the only key as of this current moment in time that actually drops ingots, which you need for weapon upgrades. It also drops ultra rares and above, and is one of the better ways to obtain every troop in the game as well, or at least the higher rarity stuff. So works out quite nicely. But yeah, that's basically the only things you would ever really need to spend gems on. Of course, there's a bunch of game modes and stuff where you can spend gems. But you don't really need to. Like, Bounty Hunter is a pretty good example of one that's you would normally spend gems on, though as a newer player, you'd probably completely avoid it, because the amount of gems you would have to spend to actually get pretty decent rewards for it is around 1,000 every single time it comes around, about every 6 weeks. And newer players definitely wouldn't have a reserve built up yet, to be able to afford that. Also, speaking of that, have I not even done this pet yet? I have not. Let me go do that. I need to go gain the EXP from this pet. I don't really need more copies of it, but well, I guess technically I do. We're still a bit away from actually maxing out all pets. Still got a good ways to go. We'll go take a skull there. See what else we could drop. Let's go move that over. Get a furnace down. Grab that. Let's see. If you could get 40 mythic ingots, you wonder if they know that would change the game at this point. As in, they have built in the huge time it'll take to get them. Well, there's supposed to be something that would take a very, very long time. Like, the whole weapon upgrading system, they were planning on having it arc probably for years. Though I'm pretty sure some people will finish it in like 3 months or something. Yeah, they were making it for extreme long term. Like, it was never their intention to be able to max out, like, literally everything immediately in regard to weapons. It's supposed to be a very, very slow kind of process thing. They kind of just build up over time and pick specific ones instead of just maxing out everything immediately. But that was their intention. But they are speeding up ever so slightly next patch and probably adding a few more realistic means of obtaining them. Because right now they're relatively hard to specifically focus down because there's no game mode that actually focuses them down. The closest thing you have is either spam arena or spam PvP, which technically isn't focusing them, they're just a byproduct of doing those game modes. Gems are for event weapons and troops. Not really. You should really minimally use event keys when you're a newer player. It's nice if there's like something ridiculously good in the drop table that you absolutely want, like a Dragon Soul or, well, really just anything that you ever see that might be useful in the drop table that you just want to use because it seems fun. But any like the heavier troops that are actually good, you can sometimes use event keys for, but they are a lot more expensive than gem keys. And more often than not, it's better off just to build up the bulk that you would accumulate from gem keys than it is to specifically focus them down, unless it's something really, really specific that's good. Because they are 50% more expensive than gem keys, yet have worse loot other than the fact that they focus specific things. So unless what you're getting from it is really, really overpowered, as far as like in the current meta of the game, you wouldn't really bother ever doing event keys. And of course, the main reason you would, like, this late in the game is mainly for newer content. Like that new, the new cactus guy that came in today. Of course, we opened event keys for that because we need it for kingdoms and such. But, that's like the only time you ever use them later in the game. Would you suggest to save keys until open 50 per time? No. If you have, let's say, 16 keys, for example, you don't get any penalty for using just 16 keys. If you're buying them, it penalizes you in a slightly higher cost of gems. But if you have like a weird amount, like 8 keys, 7 keys, 10 keys, or you know what I mean. Like if you just have already, for let's say you finish out a guild task and you get like, let's say 6 keys from it, 6 gem keys, and you go use them, that's perfectly fine. There's no penalty to doing that. It's just when you have 0 keys total and you then go and buy keys, you always want to do it in 50s. That's the only time. But if you just have like a small reserve of them, yeah, you can just throw whatever that number is, and it wouldn't make any difference. The only reason it makes a difference when you're buying them with gems is it reduces the gem cost the more you buy at once, and 50 is just the highest you can do at once. If there was a higher option, you'd want to do that as well, but there isn't. There becomes an option to use 200 at once, but you can't buy 200 at once ever. That would be cool if you could, but it's not currently possible. Could you imagine how much that would be for VIP keys? Buying 200 at once? That would come out to over 8,000 gems. That would be so much. Okay, we'll go and take a yellow over. Which might be one of the reasons why they haven't done that. Because that would just be a really absurd number to see. It's already pretty absurd. If we go into the VIP keys thingy... Oops, I meant to take that over so we could actually have to turn that. But if we go into the VIP key thing, it costs 2,250 gems to buy 50 of them at once. And the only time you would ever specifically do that is when mythics come out. You have a slightly better chance at getting them. Though these days, I personally just stick all in on gem keys because they didn't add ingots to VIP keys for whatever reason. So oddly enough, gem keys are the best key in the entire game right now, because they didn't bother buffing VIP keys. Which just seems kind of odd, but yeah. You hate buying 50 VIP chests? Why? Do you do them 10 at a time to try to, like, just so you don't overbuy? I do it 50 at a time just to, because I feel like normally it takes 100. So I just do 50-50. And then it gets there. You save 5 gems every single time you buy them that way, though. Compared to the other option, like for each one. Or I believe it's 5 gems. I forget the amount. It's either 5 or 10. I believe it's 5. I also like still doing them just because there's a lot of content I normally don't bother maxing these days. Like, there are a lot of legendaries where I kind of just leave them at base rarity. One of the bigger ones of that is like Divine Ishpala. You always see me only currently using a legendary Divine Ishpala because I haven't bothered wasting an orb on her, nor have I gotten enough copies. I just figured I'd wait it out and just get it eventually when we find one. But yeah, it's kind of weird that I use it. Like, I use this team so much, yeah, I always use a legendary Divine Ishpala. But I don't know, I just never really felt justified to actually go and bother getting upgraded. If it actually used its magic, I would probably consider it, but it doesn't even do that. It just the only benefit it would really get from having it is just higher capability of not dying. But in like 99% of battles we do, that's irrelevant. Hey, we just got level 79. We're getting there. We're getting there. By the end of the night, I'll probably be level 80, and that means from now until Thursday, we need to try covering 20 levels. That's quite a bit to cover, but hopefully we'll be able to reach it. And whatever I don't reach, I'll probably just spend gems on. Maybe not too many gems. I'll probably throw like 1,000 and see where that brings us, or tier 4 or something. I'll have to see. Because if we go too far into the leaderboard, like, I don't want to reach the leaderboard, I don't think. I think I'm just going to go claim all the rewards and do that. And just do it up to, I believe tier 4 ends up doing that. So that'll probably be the game plan. That'll give us a few hundred EXP, which will skip several levels, and then we'll also get about almost 100 EXP from the event itself, which would also skip about a level or so. Okay, we'll go and get that down. See what else we can get here. Go throw a nice little poke, and then we just have the last one. Are loot tables the same on PC and Xbox? Yes. All loot tables these days should be exactly the same across all platforms. Hey, we got 3 bunnies. Is that enough to upgrade our bunny? Please upgrade bunny. Can we get it? It's only for gems, but can we get it? Ah, no, we cannot. Actually, she was a while to go. But, yeah, there we go. Still need several more pets everywhere, but slowly but surely we shall start getting them to Mythic. I only have one of them so far, and it's the one we spent a small amount of gems on as well. We got so much excess, too. It'd probably already be Mythic even if I didn't spend gems by now. But, nonetheless, we're getting there. Leafit's almost up. The Grimlet's almost up. And, once we do, hopefully start getting a lot more orbs in as well. And getting our max amount of bonuses. Anyways, that's that. Let's go do, I guess, the, what's it called? The dungeons real quick. And then that'll be that. Also, just as one last reminder, don't forget to set your defend teams for Guild Wars. You need to make sure that they are all unique. All 24 of these need to be different. And if you are using multiple hero weapons, the hero weapon needs to be different, but the hero class can be the same if you want. But the weapon definitely has to be different. So, for example, we're using Divine Protector over here, and we're using the Dawnbringer over here. And even though we're probably going to have Assassin class active for both of them, it will still count as unique because the weapon itself is unique. But yeah, do make sure that all 24 of these are different so you get the full amount of points for Guild Wars, and don't forget to do that because it does lock in the first day if you don't do it before then. The rest of them you could change, but the first day is automatically locked in if you do forget. You had an Assassin class set to summon Sister of Shadows, and it failed it when the Sunbird exploded before it could revive. You had an Assassin class set it to summon Sister of Shadows, and it filled it when Sunbird exploded before it could revive. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, yes, that does happen. That also happens with the Assassin thingy, where it does a 50% chance where, a 50% chance it'll be replaced with a, Assassin or whatever it's called. But yeah, they are aware of this. It might actually be a mechanic because of how some of the other troops work in the game. I'm not sure if they'll be fixing that or changing that, but that might actually be working as intended. But yes, you should never use those two together. Never use Sunbird with something that summons something ever, because it will just replace it. Because if it occurs in between that frame, or the time of it casting and dying, whatever the trait-related or ability-related thing, or mainly trait-related, well, I guess ability too, it depends which ability it is, but specifically trait-related ones would trigger before the Sunbird actually revives there. So if it was something like, hey, 50% chance to summon a bandit there when an ally dies, well, 50% of the time your Sunbird's going to be replaced with a bandit. Though do keep in mind, you can trigger both at once though, and there are some teams that might be okay with that. So let's say, for example, you were using something first slot, Black Beast, Sunbird, and something else, like your hero using something. While that would be a pretty clunky team, if you were using that, and your Sunbird was to do its thing, not only would it revive when it does its ability, but it would also have that 50% chance to summon the bandit into first slot, and that would trigger beforehand. So your Sunbird would have like a 50% chance of moving up. If it doesn't summon, it would move up to first. And if it does summon, it would summon a bandit there, and then it would stay exactly where it is. And there's like small things you can do like that, which I believe is kind of why it's intended. But I don't know, it's just really, really weird how it interacts. But I do believe it is currently intended the way that it does. But it's not fully certain. It's not mechanics you really use too much though, and if you are having it going the way that you don't want it to, it's probably just best not to use the Sunbird on that particular team. Oh, when did pets get added to the game? About 3 months ago, pets were added to the game. Pretty recently. Like earlier this year. I want to say 3 months. It was 2 patches ago, right? Yeah, it wasn't the most recent patch. It was the patch before the most recent patch is when pets were added to the game. But yeah, I believe April, if I'm not mistaken, was when they were added. So they're still relatively new content, which is why a lot of people don't have them maxed yet. Or at least fully maxed. Quite a few people do have several mythics, but I don't think anyone has all of them maxed. Just because it actually costs a lot of gems to do so, if you were. It's pretty easy to have them almost maxed, but having literally every single one of them maxed is a little hard. Because every single time a new one comes in, if it would take forever for it to actually get maxed naturally. And if you were to try to gem rush it, it costs like 1,500 gems or something, like some kind of ridiculous amount. I really feel like it takes way too many gems to max out a new pet. It should be like 1,000 to 1,500 to max it. But if you get unlucky, it could take, I believe, upwards of 2,000 to actually max, which is just absurd. That, or maybe allow some kind of way to use excess pet food to create pets. Hey, excess pets can make pet food. Why not make excess pet food create pets? Like, it would probably be like a ridiculous amount, but there's currently nothing to do with excess pet food. Like, let's say a new yellow pet comes into the game, which I believe that monster one is. It's either yellow or brown. Actually, maybe it's brown. But let's just say, like, okay, brown pet food then. Let's say brown pet food. So you have, like, 100 pet food. Maybe for, like, 10 or 15 each, you could go and craft a pet. That'd be kind of cool. Or some kind of amount, just so that you can specifically focus down pets. Like, maybe in the Soul Forge each week. Oh, I should definitely suggest that to them. Because I don't know if they're actually thinking of doing something like that. That actually sounds perfect. Like, add to the Soul Forge. You know, I have been wanting to make a post on that, too. Kind of like going over, like, things where that need syncs. But, yeah, like, under troops, maybe, or maybe have a new pet tab. They probably don't have enough room for another tab. But, like, have it so that you can craft little pets, maybe under others, too. But have, like, maybe 4 pets per week, and you can go craft it out of the respective pet food color. Or maybe 1 per color. So that you can specifically focus down those pets, since there really isn't any other way to. And just make it an absurd cost, like maybe like 15 or something, or 10, or, you know, some kind of amount of the specific color. Frankenstein pets, I know, right? No, it's more like adopting pets. You're giving them food and then adopting them from the Soul Forge shelter. It's more like a pet adoption service than a Frankenstein kind of thing. Yeah, it's a donation shelter. See? You got it. Captain knows what it is. But yeah, I think that would be cool. Like, how else would you focus out on pets? Like, there's no way to do it currently in the game. Other than spending, like, absurd amount of gems on it. Yeah, what McCoy just said, April 30th in version 3.4. That sounds correct. But yeah, did anyone else have any other questions or anything I may have missed? Feel free to leave them in chat. Otherwise, I believe I will be heading off for now. Though, don't forget, Salty will be streaming after this. She is one of the developers of the game, community manager. She will be up in about 10 minutes from now on twitch.tv/infinity+2. Let me go get the link for you guys. But yeah, she'll have a couple redeem codes as well. If you didn't get mine, I don't know if it's still active, but let me go post that into chat one last time. I don't know if mine is, but she'll have some more if mine is not active. But yeah, go check her stream out. She, I believe, will be going over some spoilers, not fully certain. And there's the link specifically to her stream right there, twitch.tv/infinity+2. So go check that out. She'll be streaming for the next hour, and I'll be heading over there too. So if you still want to ask me any questions there too during it, feel free to do so, because I'll be watching her for most of her stream. So almost every time you click on the troop tab, the game will freeze. Yes, they are aware of this. It's an issue on all platforms. They're trying to fix it for next patch, and hopefully it will be. It has been really, really annoying. I have noticed that too. It freezes for more than 10 seconds for me though. It normally freezes for like a minute or 2 minutes whenever it decides to freeze. It's really annoying. Has your green Guild War invasion team changed from Web Spinner, Yasmin, Dark Maiden, Queen? Yes. I believe I use Glitter Claw on it now, don't I? I should forget. I keep changing them so often I forget what I even use on most of my Guild War days. Oh no, it's the same thing. Never mind. Yeah, I still use the same thing. Web Spinner, Yasmin, Dark Maiden, Queen Aurora. Technically, we could replace this with Yagwe. And that's about it. Really, there was some other Yagwe team I was using. Oh yeah, I was using Yagwe for yellow, if I'm not mistaken. No, not yellow. I was using it for Red Day, because I was using the Divinia Yagwe team. Where is it? Red Day, Red Day. I actually really like this team. The Divinia Yagwe combo. It's one of the only things I actually use Divinia for, personally. While she is really, really good, it's just other Divines are quicker than her. But in the case of context of Guild Wars, it's actually really nice. You get a lot of good positive stats effects. You get the HP you need so Yagwe does more damage. Those are also the only instances this late in the game where I really find her exceptionally good, is when you're using her HP buff to buff the damage of someone else. And with the Yagwe, that does the case. Ragnagord for mana, Dawnbringer just for barrier so you don't die to dwarves, because of course dwarves have those little hits that end up hitting you very, very hard with their basically one-shot capability. Let's see. Why is Mercy good? Mercy's good because it first turn gives you a lot of mana. It also has a heal and a cleanse, both of which are pretty nice. It also automatically heals the weakest on your team. And in most situations, whatever troop on your team has the lowest durability is the one who is closest to death. That is not always the case, but more often than not that is the case. So it helps basically keep your entire team alive, which is a unique mechanic to actually her. There is currently no other troop in the entire game other than a Mercy that specifically can only target your weakest ally. There's some that can target any of them that can do it, but as far as forcing your AI, as well as just yourself, to automatically heal whatever one is the weakest on your team, is exclusive currently only to Mercy. It would be kind of cool if they did add it to a troop other than just Mercy. Because, yeah, she is the only one that technically has that mechanic. While other troops can do semi-similar, she is unique in that way. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for coming down. I will see you all later. Enjoy your week. Best of luck with any keys you might be opening for stuff, as well as the game modes, as there are quite a few of them this week. We will be going over them as they come around, the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday ones. And yeah, I'll see you all later. I'll be over at Salty's stream. And again, the link one last time, it's right over there for any of you that want to go and chat and go watch her stream, or for some redeem codes as well. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 1.5 hours prior to now tomorrow. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everyone.